on, I think we've got a couple still left to do. I think we've got at least 2 or 3 still to do of the Welsh series. So this is what we're on today, is the Welsh series. And we're going to be doing a dark one for a change. So we're going to be doing Brains Dark. There we go. Now apparently it's deliciously different. It's 4.1%. It's obviously from the Dragon Brewery in Cardiff. It's 500ml. It's roughly about just over roughly about £1.70 a bottle. And on the back it says, a true classic, Brains Dark has been brewed continuously since the 1920s and is still winning awards today. Chocolate malts help create this treacle coloured yet easy drinking ale with a distinctive creamy head. There you go. And it's with a deep intense flavour containing hints of licorice and freshly ground coffee. Brains Dark goes well with traditional chocolate desserts. Drinking a dark beer with a chocolate dessert. I'm missing something here. Oh God. Anyway, I wouldn't recommend that ever. But what do I know? But anyway, let's get it cracked open. A bit lively. Let's see what it's like. So I can smell it already. You can smell molasses, dark malts, everything else. One till life. Right. So yes, I'm getting malt. You can see it's quite a dark liquor. Yeah, no surprise, it's all basically malts. Dark malts, molasses smells. Kind of a hint of treacle. No caramel flavours or aromas. So yes, it's nearly all kind of dark malts and molasses, but maybe a hint. There's a hint of treacle, which is kind of a lighter kind of molasses as well. So let's give it a sip and see what it does. Oh, yeah, well. There is a licorice bitterness there in the aftertaste. That's the thing that's kind of really standing out. Now we've done some dark beers. I think I did one, was it Rigwelter? So I did. And that was an exceptionally good beer. I won't lie, that was a really, really good beer. And one of the major things was the balance of having that kind of underlying sweetness from start to finish, but then having other flavour profiles kind of bouncing off it to balance it out. So it wasn't sweet, but it wasn't overly bitter either. It was just a nice balance to it. Already I've noticed there's an imbalance with the aftertaste that it's quite licorice like. To a certain degree it's quite, how would you say, earthy is probably the best way. It's kind of licoricely and earthy, and it's not a particularly nice aftertaste because of that. Right. It's got a bit better because I've just taken another sip. Now, I gave you my first impressions. Now I'm trying to give you kind of my second impressions after it's had a little bit of acclimatization. Sure. So let's break down the flavours there. Starts off with you getting malt at the start, at the front of the mouth. You're getting malt, and maybe just a light sweetness, and I'm talking about a really light sweetness, ever so light. To the point is that you can miss it, but it is just a slightly lighter, sweeter flavour, ever so slightly. And that starts to change as it goes onto the middle tongue. And that's where the kind of malt, slightly dissipates, and you're starting to get the kind of molasses flavour, but it's not a sweet molasses, but it's not overly bitter, and it's there. So you're getting kind of molasses and kind of treacle, but it's very kind of neutral in flavour. It's neither sweet or bitter, but it is. I mean, there is obviously a bitterness, but it's not too bitter. It's not really strong, but it is a bitterness that continues on to the aftertaste. Now the aftertaste, now it's still got the kind of licorice as it kind of transitions into a kind of bitterness, but with a more kind of licorice kind of bent to it, rather than a molasses kind of bent to it, kind of burnt sugar bent to it. But the good thing is the earthiness has kind of disappeared. I'm not getting the earthiness, which is a good thing, because I feel that was a thing initially with my first impression, was that's the type of flavouring you don't really want in your aftertaste, is a kind of earthiness to it. So it's good that it hasn't got that anymore. Yeah, it's quite a nice dark beer. It is quite easy to drink. The flavours are there, but they're not overly strong. They're not weak in any way, but they're not overpowering. Is probably the best way of putting it. It's definitely not a red welter. It's not even a Moonraker either. When we've been trying them from the Manchester and kind of Yorkshire series. But yes, this is the Welsh series, and it's a nice kind of pint. You can see the nice lacing in the glass. I would say it's almost sessionable. It was quite easy to drink. The flavour profiles aren't too strong to kind of stop it from being sessionable. And yeah, I suppose the flavour profiles that are there are interesting enough that you probably wouldn't tire of it so quickly. And it's not overpowering either, so yeah, it's got a nice mouthfeel. And yeah, the more I drink it, the more I'm enjoying it more. It's one of these ones where once your mouth gets acclimatised to it, everything just kind of settles down. It's quite a nice, easy drinking beer. So what would I give it out of 10? Surprisingly enough, this is probably the best Brains beer that I have reviewed. And yeah, I would be honestly, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, because it's quite a nice, easy drinking beer, nice flavour profiles. You could session it. I'm not really a big one for sessioning really dark beers, but yes, I could probably drink 2 or 3 of these quite easily, really quite easily, and enjoy every one. So yeah, I would say 6.5 out of 10. It's 4.1%, 500ml bottle. Thanks for watching, cheers, and bye for now.